Hello, everybody. Welcome and happy Friday. Hopefully, you can see me and hear me, which was always nice. I, however, cannot see any of your comments, so that's always good. It makes it much easier for me to drive the stream if I can't see anything. Why does that always happen? Right, we shall try and crash on anyway. How is everyone? Can you indeed see and hear me, or have I made it all up? I'm going to try and get my chat working slightly differently. If I do this, for instance, and then this, I should be able to do things like this and say hello to Joe from Evesham, New Jersey. I could do that if I didn't keep deleting the bleeding thing. So, Friday night, we are back in the... I'm trying to do too many things at once. I thought I was prepared for this, but no, it turns out we're not. Go on, you can do it, Graham. We're also trying to record where everybody's from. So, if you want to let me know where you're from, I'll add you to the stream. So far, you can see we've got a preponderance of people from the UK and Europe. We've got a few Americans, one single Canadian, and one single Swede. So, you know, if you want to say hello and let me know where you're from, I will add you to that map. We want to get a few... Anyone from Greenland? I will be asking for proof if there's anyone who says they come from somewhere a bit too weird. Zen Ginger says, woohoo. That's what we like. You can indeed see and hear me, I'm assuming that means. Brian's here, Rich is here. We've got Stuart in all 4 seasons from Wolverhampton. I will be enjoying a new one. I've not had this one before. Shipwrecked Pina Colada IPA from Northern Monk, the Twisted Edition. Stinky. Let me know in the comments what tasty beverage and snack you're enjoying tonight. For your delectation tonight, we'll have random rants mostly about things like delivery drivers. We'll have the quiz at about 9:30. Not entirely sure I like that. And then we'll have more incoherent rambling and ranting after that, probably. Lee, hello from Bolton. Nice to see you. Carmalol, hello there. Always nice to see some new names. Charlie, only Oscars. June, nice to see you. It's Tease Rebecca night tonight, says Brian. Is that not every night? The quiz will have some questions about Die Hard. Just saying, you might want to watch it one day. Might not be the worst thing in the world. Carmelol says they're watching from Saudi Arabia. Oh, right. I don't know how to make you prove that, but I'm going to take you on your word and add Saudi Arabia. Where in Saudi Arabia? I want a place. The Last Phobia says, hello, I'm Stuart Smith. I'm not allowed to talk to you then. Stuart has been making me private all my social media accounts all evening. I think he's embarrassed to have a family. Never mind a dad. He talks nonsense on Tinterwebs for fun. So, yeah, no one engaged with the Last Phobia. Hello, Aquarium Daily. Nice to see you. Fish Vet. Back. Not seen you for a while, yes. Oh, where have you been? Anywhere interesting? Scott says hello, which is always nice, and then as he is top mod, don't forget to like in your way in or your way out. Indeed, Warren Ventnor from South Africa. Warren, I'm going to take you again. Where in South Africa? Plushy, California. Right, that's a place. I can be a bit more specific. California, USA. Added. I'm worldwide, baby. Is that what they say? Rich T says St. Louis. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that. USA, nice to see you. Audio and video even. Fantastic, excellent. I'm on mute now, am I? I shouldn't be. It's a bit of a coconutty, which is disconcerting in a beer. I'm not sure I want that in my beer. Can we have a rant about Fluval CO2 without solenoid prices versus Colombo CO2 versus F-zone CO2? We can have a rant at your attempts to spell solenoid. Yeah, I mean, I've still not actually checked out what... Somebody did message me what the price of the Fluval CO2 is. Hang on. So, not that you'll be able to see it because the light's too bright. This is what we're talking about. It was the Bio CO2 which I reviewed, and I had a couple of issues with it. But since then, it's been working flawlessly. I've been asked to send back that bit to Fluval because I think that's the bit that was giving me the problems, which I've still not done. I must get onto that and do it. But otherwise, it's been fine. What I didn't do in my review was compare it price-wise or function-wise to any of the other CO2 ones because I've not got them. So I don't know how they stack up, but I hear it's not entirely favourable. Whether it's got a solenoid or not, it's not a big deal for me because you can retrofit one, but it does make more sense if it includes a solenoid. But the amount of CO2 that it's putting out, I don't think it's necessarily so terrible that it's manual. I've retrofitted the solenoid and it works. Not to say that it shouldn't include it to start with, and with the prices, who knows. But no, we will not be having a rant about that. We'll be having a rant about my lack of plant unboxing video this week because I wanted to do that. We might have a rant. Just generally, everything's easy for me to say, delivery driver related. Johannesburg, South Africa, but we'll go on to that in a little bit. I think you might be our first you are our first any kind of African. You can see me dancing to that, then you're a braver man than I. Jenna P, good afternoon, nice to see you. How are you? Mickey's in nice and early as well. Merced, California is watching. Is that a place or a misspelled thing because you're stoned? Merced. Oh no, it is a place. I'm probably saying it wrong. I take that back. That was probably hugely offensive. Jamar, another of Stuart's friends. He didn't make me put anything on private. I was happy to do it. Not muted here. Good, that's what we like to see. Hello, boots and cats. Nice. 150. Oh, I don't know if I'd be paying £159 for that. That is not exactly cheap. There, that's the word we can go for. I like it though. It's a premium quality. I like it because it was free for me. It's a premium quality product. We might be giving it away. Might make it the prize because this is the last quiz of the month. So, have I still got that spreadsheet? Oh, I hope I haven't shut. Oh no! Disaster. Why is that? Oh, fuck's sake. I was wanting to show you the standings of the quiz. Come on, Graham, you can use all your words at one time. So, this is what we've got here. As you can see, all the names of all the people who have been involved and what they scored each week. I've not seen Juggler's name yet. Maybe we should sneak the quiz in right now before Juggler's arrived. Give everyone a chance. Because at the moment, if I go down to the sorted version, Juggler's in the lead by a good 250 points or so, ahead of Timbo, who again is a couple of hundred points ahead of JDT, who is a bit ahead of It Me, and still does Taco, etc, etc, etc. So, you know, if Juggler doesn't show up, someone has a chance to make it up ahead of him. So it could be all bets off, see who wins the quiz tonight. And then we start a new one next week. So for those of you who are new, we do a quiz every week, and for every Friday in the month, we total up all your points, so as you get something like that. And then at the end of the month, whoever's got the most points, what do points make? Prizes! And we give away something a little bit better. So last month we gave away a 3D printed fry breeding tray system thing. This month I've not decided what the prize is, because I kind of want to tailor it to you. So if you're watching this and you win, I'll get in touch and say, look, do you want a bunch of merch? Do you want a bunch of fish food? Do you want me to 3D print you a fry breeding rack? Do you want me something else that you've seen around the channel that you're interested in? Then we'll work out something like that. Are you trying to say you can't even do the big fish, small fish cardboard box? I'm not saying that, but I'm not going to do it though. I don't think I need to see how lowly I rank. You are in there. You are currently in position 19 with 579 points. So you'll be doing well to gain more than 1,000 points and overtake Juggler. But hey, I was going to say stranger things have happened, but stranger things have not happened. Hey, Juggler's not here. You've cut his wires. That'll be it then. Not in the top 30. You're in the top 30. Yeah, number 19. So, if you're interested in playing the quiz, it is very simple. It's fastest finger first. Whoever answers the question correctly quickest gets most points. The points are totted up at the end, and we have a weekly winner and a monthly winner. Tonight we'll be determining the monthly winners. You get points for answering quickly, fast. So if you want to adopt your own approach to this of, if I don't know the answer immediately, just guess. People have done really well off that. People have done really badly off that. So, you know, pays your money, you take your chances. There's no money. You don't get to argue. Well, you can argue as much as you want. You don't get to make me care about your arguing that I got a question wrong, because the answers are what I think the answers are rather than what they might be. I strive to make those two things align as much as possible, but, you know, I get things wrong every now and again. I've been spending weeks trying to think of a nicer way to say it than tough shit. Sorry, I will make mistakes. You get to pick an avatar. If Rebecca is playing freshwater ichthyology, you do not get to pick the fish. Otherwise, game's a bogey. Other than that, it's dead straightforward. So we'll be doing that in about 15 minutes or so. So if you want to get ready, we'll get on to that. Paul McCarthy's here. Brian's waiting on a knock on the door from Juggler, because he knows where you live now. Scott needs more than 600 points. Well, if enough people join, the more people join, the more points are available. So you never know. It could be done. When will we do a Kahoot? Well, it's not a Kahoot, it's a Bluekit. Ooh, getting attacked by things. Kahoot, I don't know, doesn't work properly for some reason. My light is really epic. Oh. So, Rebecca won a light for one of the Christmas quizzes. I thought, my light is really epic. I thought, is that some kind of religious thing? Because it's Easter. Okay. Oh yeah, one more rule that I've just reminded myself of. If you're going to play for multiple weeks, you must pick the same name, because I use this spreadsheet is coded to pick up the same name. So for instance, I think down here somewhere we've got Governor Silver, which is Tommy, but then I think he got kicked out once halfway through, and then there's another Silver down here. So I will manually add them together when it's not your fault. But if, like some people pointing no elbows at no nabos, who intentionally call themselves different things each week, I am not doing that all the time. But Tommy, I think you'd be doing well to win this one, so we'll see. Can I win the mega tank? If you come and take it apart, yes. Okay, Andrew, you've got a deal. If you win March, you can have mega tank. I'll even deliver it. You get half a mug. Yeah, that's a reference to. That's a Juggler and I won his quiz jointly, and for some reason I won the mug. If you don't already know, Aquarium Daily, you might see there, runs a quiz on a Saturday night. So if you fancy doing that, it's almost as good as mine. What can we say? Oh, here he is. Here he is. I have a challenge for you. Can you hum for 5 seconds? This feels like a trick. Well, I can, but I'm not going to. Is it a song? If you make a typo, that's all right, but you know, deliberately changing your name each week and making me add up your points, I'm not having that. Mistakes can be made on both sides, so I will do a little bit. Seven seconds, close enough. Anyway, I've not seen any new places that anyone has decided to say they're from. We have added Africa. We've added a whole new continent already. I need some South Americans. Any Russians? Got any Russians? Mongolians, Chinese, Thai. Is your Excel sheet connected into? I'm doing it manually, so I did upgrade the Blue Kit so as I could download the stats afterwards. But then I've just written some code that automatically populates each week for each name and pulls it out. The link for the quiz will be coming shortly, so we've only got. If I give you the link too early, it seems to make the quiz crash. I also need to write one more question for the quiz because we've only got 19 questions at the moment, so watch me struggle to multitask as I attempt to do that right now. I'll start by ranting. So, those of you who have been around for a while, I recently started importing plants from Dutchland, from Holland, and I put in my second order last week. So basically every 2 weeks they come out with a new list of plants, and you put your order in, and then so you get an ordering week, a delivery week, an ordering week, a delivery week. And this week was a delivery week, so I put in an order. Not as big as the first ones, but a couple of £100 worth of stuff. Where is my fucking images gone? A couple of £100 worth of plants that I was expecting. That's the wrong one. And they sent out the delivery note, as always. Well, we will deliver between X and X. But I had to take my daughter into hospital for some tests on Thursday. And it was right bang in the middle of the delivery window. So they give you the option, do you think you're not going to be in? Click here for all your options. So I clicked here and chose porch. So we've got gates at the bottom of the driveway, left the gates open so the guy could get in, come up and leave it in the porch, which is pretty secure because you can't see it from the road and all that kind of stuff. And I'm watching on the cameras while I'm on the phone, so I can just shut the gate once he's left and once he's there. And I see him drive up, look around, press the doorbell, jump back in his car and drive away. And I was like, so annoying. I think he pretended to press the doorbell because I've got one of those Ring doorbells, so I could have just said, "Oi, hey, whoa!" And I wish I had thought about that a bit quicker. So away he buggered off. And while I was still getting irate about this, another one came. So I'd put in a big food delivery as well, because I'm running low on stock for that as well. And he did exactly the same thing. The food I'm not so worried about, because it's Easter weekend. They would normally have delivered the next day, or I could have gone and picked it up the next day, but because it's Easter weekend, I can't go and do that until Tuesday. So the plants are going to sit rotting in some warehouse in Rotherham until Tuesday, and then they're going to reattempt the delivery. They'll probably be fine, but I'm just so pissed off that they didn't. Why give you the option? Why put an option in there to leave in a safe space if you're not even going to try and leave it in a safe space? And they have like fragile and handle with care all over the box and all this kind of stuff, and you just think, wow, it's very, very, very annoying. So, had that going on. Next one was, it's one of my other kids' birthdays soon, so I'd order something off the internet from them. And you know Amazon, if you ever order something, I think it's over £100, they send you a password, and then you have to meet the driver, and they only give you the password 5 minutes before the package arrives, and all this kind of stuff. So that was happening today, and I'd ordered him his birthday present, and they go, "Oh, you'll need to make sure you're in." So it's also Mrs. Adventure's birthday today, so I had to say, "No, we're not going anywhere today because we have to stay in and wait for this fucking package." And we're waiting. I'm looking at the tracking thing from Amazon, still not popping up what my thing is. I just happened to wander outside, and it's there, sat in the letterbox outside. No notification, no signature, no swapping of codes. So, I have been... What's the opposite of praising? Whatever the opposite of praising is, delivery drivers as a whole breed. I'm just not a happy bunny. But hey, I also did... I got to go to the wholesaler for terrestrial plants as well. This whole becoming a proper bona fide business thing's brilliant. So I've now got a trade account with Lavenders of Sheffield, where we get to go and wander about and they do all sorts, house plants, flowers, indoor, outdoor plants, massive trees, hedges, equipment, everything. So we were going round there. So for Mrs. Adventure's birthday today, I think I bought her 20 pots of lavender. So we can do a bit of gardening, and yeah, just geeking out in the plant shop. It was great. So, sorry about my waffling while we do that. Jamar says Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you. I hope you get lots of eggs. My daughters and dogs are at a competition camping in Chester for the weekend, if that counts. What, as a place to put on the map? I don't think we do holiday destinations. Yeah, you never know. Scott's under their different names. Pretty sure one week I was accidentally called Shadow without the W. Well, if you think that is the case, I will have captured it. I do not see a shadow. I see a shady. A thing has happened. ABC Aquatic Biotope Creations has become a member. Thank you very much. Well, if you get near the top, I'll definitely have a look at it. Warren's a member as well. Thank you, Warren. Daughter's fine. It was just like a blood test thing. Was it every? It wasn't every, but they pissed me off as well. So, and sorry if you are the people who made these orders. I had, long story short, my workflow for sending out stuff. So if you buy food or merch or whatever, I will send it out. I usually go into my dashboard on my website, and from there, PayPal kind of handles all the printing of postage labels and all that. And PayPal have stopped working with Royal Mail now, so they can only offer Every or something else, which is a ball ache. So I've got this little. I'm pointing down here because it's here, but I realise I can't show you. It's a little label printer, so it would all just be dead easy. Print it off, slap it on, chuck it out, away it goes. But the Royal Mail ones changed, and the Every ones were different sizes, and oh god, it was all hours to send these bloody parcels. Aquarium Daily's become a member as well. Thank you very much. So I sent out 2 parcels last week or the week before that, and put them in the post, and they sent them back to me. Delivery driver came to me, and I'm like, this isn't my name. And apparently they screwed up the barcode, so they don't actually look at the name and the address on the parcel. They just go by what the barcode says. And the barcode had got screwed up and swapped the sender and the recipient around. So they delivered the packages I sent out to me. And I didn't know that was what the case was at the time, but I'm going, my name's not whatever the name was, and this isn't this address. And literally the response from the driver was, and I'm like, what do you mean? This is a customer's order. So I have now changed my workflow, and we do things slightly different. So hopefully that'll start to settle down again. Right, quiz time. Let me get that ready. Did type in that question. Excellent. 155. Quiz week 155. So, if you're interested in some quizzing, I'll do classic blue kit. I just need to line everything up every week, because for God knows what reason it never actually does it properly. Host now, random question, order. Ooh, loud noises. So I'll copy the link for you, and we'll put that in chat, so if you want to play. We'll get kicked off in a few minutes. Right, well, I'm skip through a rat warehouse in Rotherham. Yes, not Rotterdam. I'm probably come from Rotterdam, but the driver wasn't a fan of the channel. That could be the case. Bubbling Fins, nice to see you. ABC, nice to see you too. And Gazzy's Koi Pond, are we getting involved in the quiz? Remember, next week's new month, so everyone's got a chance to win, if nothing else. Used to my waffling, yes, indeed. Ha! I realise you can't see these chats that I'm doing now. Hang on. Phil's here as well. Just skipping through because we're about to start the quiz. Is everyone about ready? Shirley Taylor says, my first time here and I have no clue what's up. That's alright. There's people who've been here loads and they have no idea what's up either. Gaz isn't playing because he's sick of winning. Well, we can go through the stats and prove that that's not the case. But are we ready to go, people? I think we are. Good luck. What chocolate technically isn't a chocolate? Remember, this is the chocolate/Easter themed quiz this week. Is it white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, or baking chocolate? That's correct. White chocolate has no chocolate in it. Who would have thunk it? In which country would you find Grampian mountain range? Italy, Netherlands, France, or Scotland? Of course it was Scotland. How many bones does the adult human body have? Oh dear, Brian. How could you get the Grampian one wrong? Not. It's 206. I did want to make that question about how many bones does the average fish have, but there is no answer to that. Timbo is in the lead. What is the name of the spaceship in the series Firefly? This was an answer to not having enough science fiction questions. Was it Red Dwarf, Enterprise, Galactica, or Serenity? Oh my god, Rebecca's seen Firefly. It was, of course, Serenity, and the film about was called Serenity. Question 5. For what alleged crime did the Romans crucify Jesus? Heresy, apostasy, sacrilege, or blasphemy? This is my nice cheery Easter question for you all. It was blasphemy. The weirdo claimed to be the son of God. How many million Cadbury cream eggs are sold each year? Oh, Hillary's having problems, sorry. We're definitely going. Usually it lets you join late as well. Is it 800 million, 500 million, 70 million, or 250 million? We won the pub quiz last night. This was the tie-break question, which we got spot on. Well, we, not me. It's 500 million. If you dial a phone number with the +61 international code, what country would you get? Next we're going with Faith and Futures. We're all Northern Monk this week. It is Australia. Yeah, I must admit, I too only knew that +1 was America and 44 was the UK. Is that an easy one for you there, Brian? You must have known that, having lived there. How is the date for Easter decided? Is it based on a lunar cycle? Is it always the first Sunday in April? Is it written in the Bible? Or is it based on the first Pope's birthday? This one's a bit nicer. It's based on a lunar cycle. How could it be the first Sunday in April? It's this Sunday, which is in March. It's the first Sunday after the full moon, after, who knows. What side of the brain controls speech? I did think about doing left, right, front, back, but it's the left side. What TV sci-fi series had a cheeky robot helper called Twiki? That, if you want a hint, went biddy biddy biddy. Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, Star Trek, or Firefly? Of course it was Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. Kel Surprise, Freshwater Egg He's going, who's Buck Rogers? What country is this? Australia, Russia, France, or Spain? You should get this one. This should be an easy one. Vive la France. You sure it wasn't called Twiggies? What did I say? Yeah, that one, there was meant to be two easy ones and two obvious it wasn't those, and then two that it might be. Cryptic one. Who builds golden crowns and silver bridges? It's a dentist. Well done. At 12 questions down, we've got... Oh look, a welcome return to the top for Juggler. Which actor plays Hans Gruber in the film Die Hard? Alan Rickman, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Willis, or Samuel L. Jackson? Tommy got the Die Hard one wrong, panic clicked. It was, of course, Alan Rickman. Which country started the tradition of the Easter Bunny? USA, Germany, Spain, or UK? Of course, it was those weird Germans. Question 15. Which genus of freshwater fish includes popular aquarium species such as clown loach and YOLO loach? Picture for attention, because it's not any of them. Is it the Rasbora, Daniocorydorus, or Botia? Clown loaches that aren't in Botia? Oh, well, I refer you to my earlier statement. It's what I think's right rather than what's actually right. Or in this case, what ChatGPT thinks is right. Which country does the equator not run through? Kenya, Portugal, Ecuador, or Brazil? Or if you're very posh, Kenya, Portugal, Ecuador, or Brazil? Portugal. Who created the first chocolate Easter egg in 1873? Is it Fry's, Coca-Cola, Thornton's, or Cadbury's? Fries. You've never heard of fries, Scott? Which freshwater fish known for its labyrinth organ allowing it to breathe air directly from the surface? Goldfish, Oscar, betta, or angelfish? less is the better. Two questions to go, but I think the winner's already sealed. What band was picking up good vibrations? The Kinks, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, or the Beach Boys? It's the Beach Boys. And final question. Oh no, Tackle's been kicked out. Which fish family includes species known for their ability to produce electric discharges, often used for communication and defense? Or defense. Tetrodonte, Gymnotidae, Loricaridae, or Cyprinodontidae. I can speak Latin, good stuff, me. That's the Gymnotidae. Juggler second. Second? Timbo takes the lead. Well done, Timbo. That's some good shooting, Tex. 60% correct, and you all said that was a hard one. Did pretty well there. 17 questions correct. A worthy winner in Timbo, closely followed by 16 and Juggler. Name on 14. Idme, Shadow. Oh, SGH with 16, but slow 16. Good input from everyone else, though. We're doing pretty well. Chip Shop Matt got bored. Right, so if I do history, that's the one we've just done. I download the thing, I open the thing, wait for the thing to open, enable that, copy that, stick it in there. That should and does fill in everybody's. I need that to be F. But yes, I'm afraid it's a big old win for Juggler with 2,126 points. I will double check and verify after, make sure I've not missed out any names that I haven't got there, so if you're down here and you had a name slippage, I'll add that up afterwards, but I don't think anyone's catching Juggler. That was a straight fight between Juggler and Timbo. You did your best, Timbo. You can't do better than that to win the week's showdown, but not good enough. So congratulations once more to the all-conquering Juggler! Still want me to make the quizzes. Oh yeah, we did talk about that. Yes, let's have a think about that. I don't mind it, but I like to play the quiz as well sometimes. But we could always go and discover. I mean, they were a bit easy when we did them last week, weren't there? So if anyone's a Bluecoot user and can think of a better quiz that we could do that isn't just straight up, oh, that's a pig, oh, that's a goat. I don't know. Maybe we could try that. Are there any science ones we could do? Science, planets, states of matter, organs, the water cycle. Oh, what's the water cycle? Well, that'll be like rain and stuff, won't it? Well, we'll think about it. But anyway, other way. Where did we get to? Right, let me go back again. Go Timbo! Yes, quite right. How do you feel about using pool filters? Oh, I've obviously stepped into the middle of a conversation there. Shirley's just woken up, that's fine. For the love of God, wash the sand first. Yeah, that should be like a common statement with any intention to use sand in any process whatsoever with aquariums. Wash the sand. Only Oscar's got 13. Yeah, he did well. A very good piece of advice there. If you are interested in any fishy questions whatsoever, tonight's more about is you imagine you're hanging about in the pub with your vaguely nerdy kindred spirits, having a chat. It's not all about fish, but if you have fish questions, we're here to help, and specifically we have the Discord server to do that. Yes, well done, Juggler. Well done. Well done, Tim, for tonight. Well done, Juggler, for the month. You kind of smashed it and kind of made it easier. Juggler is Quizmaster. Yeah, maybe that could be the prize if you're up for it. If you win one month, you get to set the questions for the following month. At least that would limit Juggler to 6 wins a year. If nothing else, that might be a thing. It's a bad idea. I've spent lots of time with Juggler. He's full of kind of useful information. Yeah, I do mean to. So, Rebecca's saying there's some Maidenhead aquatic sands are quite good. Not needed to wash a few. It's such a godsend when you get a sand that doesn't need rinsing, but they're so few and far between. There's I want to say it's TM Aquatics is the brand or the shop or whatever, but they sell on eBay and Amazon, and they sell stuff branded as pool filter sand that's brilliant. Doesn't need washing. You just have to make sure you get exactly the right thing, because I've ordered them before, used it, thought this is great stuff, you don't need to rinse it, brilliant, and then obviously ordered the wrong stuff from the same place that looked exactly the same yet was full of dust. So yeah, it can be a bit of a pain. Never needed to wash pool filter sand, it's super clean. Pool filter sand, I mean, by its very nature, should be clean, but often, and it's not even the cheap stuff. I've had the expensive pool filter sand that was really dusty, but nowhere near as bad as like general aquarium sand or play sand or things like that. Kiln dried sand, that's another one. It's great for the aquariums, but it's so dusty. How should I prep regular potting soil for putting in tanks? No different to any other soil, really. You just have to be careful that you get the most plain vanilla standard potting soil. So even stuff that's labelled as organic still has lots of additives in it, or lots of organics that you don't want in there. So you just want untreated, plain, bog standard compost, and then really give it a big thick cap, because you don't want that stuff getting out. It will over time, so all these people who make dirtied tanks and say, oh yeah, as long as you give it a big enough sand cap it'll be fine, it's bollocks. It will mix it over time, it will get there, especially if you have fish that like to root around. But if you're planting stuff in it, Roots move things, fish move things over time, starts to come through. If you don't mind, that's fine. If you do mind and you want it to be a nice sandy one, don't use that. But yeah, just get all the crap out of it. So often it'll have big sticks and lumps and stuff like that. Make sure you're not using any with any additives or fertilizers or any of that kind of stuff. And a huge thick cap, because you just want to trap those nutrients underneath. You don't want them mixing in the water column. Hi Adele, we've missed an Adele. I've missed an Adele. There you go. Happy Easter, everybody. Yes, hello. Shirley says, I just get what? I just guess your video on Amazon puffers. It was I just guess. I don't know what that means. I don't think I've ever done a video on Amazon puffers either. But there you go. Thanks. I'll take it. I just watched your video on Amazon puffers. Did I have a video on Amazon puffers? I've never kept Amazon puffers. When sand needs washing, it really needs washing. Yes, I know. You can get pool filter sand in the UK. I very much thought about it the same as your second comment. Who has an actual pool? But yeah, it's fairly common. I think a lot of people use them for like jacuzzis and stuff as well, to filter them, maybe. I don't know. I've got like an above ground pool, like a plastic one that you can put up that has a filter that you can attach a sand filter to. So maybe it's that, but yeah. I've been in an open water pool in the UK once and I grew an extra head of tonsils. That's very much like my above ground pool. Yeah, even on the hottest day of the year, it takes a few days to get up to any kind of temperature that you're not like, oh my god, that's very cold. Blah, blah, blah. Ouch. Tommy's saying, potting soil, wet it, mix in your amendments. Compost soil I personally like better, and it's ready to go. Yeah, I mean, there's a few... The naming conventions at play here, especially when you're doing things like your research on YouTube. You've got American people, you've got British people, European people, Australian people. One man's compost is another man's potting soil, is another man's topsoil, is another. So all these terms don't really mean anything. So you really got to look at the composition of the stuff that's going in there. So just take an extra minute to make sure you're getting the stuff that you want. Yeah. So as Gaz saying, spend £4 more and buy the right stuff. That might be for the pool filter sand, but if it's for the compost, often the more expensive stuff is not what you actually want, because they've got extra things in there, like inhibitors for this, that and the other, or extra fertilisation for this, that. You just don't want that. You want the plain, bog standard, crappy stuff. Home bargains, or what's the other one that's not home bargains? But very similar. I've immediately forgotten what its name. Anyway, they used to sell a compost that was berated by all the gardening groups for being rubbish, but loved by all the aquarium groups because this is exactly what we need, and it's cheap as chips. Yeah, go and get it. I've not looked at the answers, believe me or not, but this set looks kind of good. Okay, we'll come back to that. Shall we do that at 10? I was going to say, shall we do that at 10 o'clock? And then it is 10 o'clock. We'll come back to that in a second. In fact, let's do it. It's the Easter quiz. Okay. I bought the puffers from Amazon, or maybe it's puffers in general. that could have been my Fahaka puffers, or yeah, I have made some videos about puffers, I guess. Freshwater puffers in general, that could be it, yes. I do like them. I have an above ground pond doing the tuna vat. Do you, sir? Yes. B&M, that's what I was thinking of, quite right. Thank you, Brian and Larios. Shall we try this quiz? If I host it. It's an Easter quiz, so if you're looking for a little bit of Easter goodness rather than my interpretation of it, this could be your chance. In fact, I can play too, because I haven't looked. So if I copy the link, there's the link. I'll go in as boss man. The interesting part of the video was on a certain monarchy. Oh, was it the old king? Yeah. He and I have had a bit of a back and forth every now and again. I noticed the king of DIY had a Temu video. Like, that's that bandwagon over then. How long before I get accused of copying him? The galling thing of that was I watched it and I went, I want to buy one of them. You know those filters we've been talking about in Discord for a while? I was like, I kind of want to get one of them now. I missed out because I'm babysitting the stage once I wonder, yes. Well, we're not gone yet, you've got time. We'll give it a minute. There's still time for Crash to give up the fish. Fish room's in. Nice to see you. How very dare you. Right, are we ready to go? Is everyone in who wants to be in? You can scroll back up and click the link. Who is actually going to buy the PPV? Was this for the boxing thing? I've not really been following that. I don't know what's going on there. Should do an Etsy video, oh, maybe. I was actually thinking of doing, because that last Temu video of building the Temu tank, I really like the tank that I've ended up with, and I think it's a cool little setup, but it's ridiculously expensive for what it is. So I'm thinking of doing a play on that of buying everything from a local fish store, or buying everything as cheap as possible. Maybe Facebook Marketplace or eBay or second-hand things from Big Borrow and Steal, to try and make the same sort of thing that looks good, but for different price points. I thought that might be fun. Etsy, yeah, could try that. I'm interested in that. Right, are we ready? Little face. So I'm going to play on this screen, so I'll be Walrus, but I'll click start here, and good luck everyone. Is Easter a holy day? All of the questions are correct. Okay. Nathan from Devon. Hello there. The answers are right, it's the questions that's wrong. So I guess this is going to be how quickly do you answer? beaten by Shirley. How many peeps? How many peeps? What the hell's a peep? Don't know, but I guess it's a lot. How many peeps do Americans consider? What's a peep? Americans, we're going to have to know what a peep is. If this is rubbish, all complaints towards Scott, please. When is Easter? None of them? I take it this is a couple of years old. Okay. Don't know what's going on there. What? How can Easter have been a thing? Easter always falls between which 2 days? Don't think that's true either. I'll take the points for it, but I don't think it's true. I'll know that one. Because Jesus always existed, says Tom. But that can't be true. Jesus always existed, but Easter didn't. He had to die and come back for there to be an Easter, surely. So once he died and come back, because he went away again 40 days later, so he wasn't there for the first commemoration of it, which would have been the first Easter. Or something. Did I get that one right? I hope I did. If Brian is winning, that's a true sign that this quiz is corrupt. Do you know why there's an Easter bunny? Something to do with fertility? So, because bunnies shag a lot, they're like Jesus or something. What the hell's a peep? Do you mean, what did peep? When did peeps come out? Who invented? What? How did I get that right? Fuck are peeps. Sorry for swearing. Americans, come on, reveal this. What are peeps? I'm assuming it's an American thing. I don't know. Stupid. Could be. It's in March this year. I bet you this is wrong. This is wrong. Peep is people. Peep can't be people. It's like saying when were people invented? Literally in March. Peeps are a marshmallow. What? Peeps are sugar-coated marshmallow duckies. I do not like your blicket. Your blicket is bloody waffle. Alison got booted again. Alison, you're so lucky. The quiz is bad and you should feel bad. I do feel bad. Thank you, Stevie P. I'm just going to click in the middle and see what happens. Easter Monday is April the 1st. Yes, but Easter Monday is the only date in Easter that's not anything to do with Easter. What happened on Easter Monday? Why is Easter Monday a thing? I went through, when I was trying to get questions for my quiz, I was thinking to myself, what is the point of Easter Monday? So he had his dinner on a Thursday, got stitched up on a Friday, killed on the Friday, just chilled out on the Saturday, Sunday, woke up again, wasn't quite as bad a killing as first thought. And then went on a 40-day, still here, tour of Jerusalem, I guess. Didn't do anything on the Monday. Why do we celebrate Easter Monday? Nobody knows. I got that one right. I blame the People's Front of Judea, or the Judean People Front. I don't know. Beer number 3, a new can. An old beer, but a new can. This is Northern Monk's Transient, which is a new can, so it's a nice fresh one. How many questions is this? 167 questions, or is that just my name? I went for bum. Oh, 24 questions to get through. Oh. Three days, is it not? 2. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The most famous thing to do on Easter. The most famous. Do you like a bit of bombing, Brian? Yeah. When it comes to Easter bunnies. Or to be fair, any kind of chocolate covered bunnies. Where's the screw you option? was no answers above. If this person was here right now, I'd punch them. It's not even over. Ugh. Germans, they're always doing weird shit like that. It's got to be the Germans. Yep. Scott, your quiz picking your quiz picking privileges have been revoked. What? That can't be. How can I be wrong? It's always the Germans. Well, one thing we could do is, those of you who have signed up for Blue Kit, you can make your own quiz and then send it to me and I can play it on stream. In the 13th century, the church prohibited eating what during Holy Week? Eggs, duh. Not called Holy Week either. This one is delicious. It's literally lick-smackingly good. It's got to end soon. We're only on question 20 of 24. Shirley's winning. Well done, Shirley. I should have checked in. You just send me the link. So you know how if you're on Blue Kit and any quiz there has like a click this link to join. So if you create your own quiz on Blue Kit, you can just send me that quiz link and then we can all play it together. I refuse to be brought down by this terrible quiz that Scott has foisted upon us. Because I'm on holiday next week. Whoop! I've got a week off. I'm so happy. And I will happily talk at length about why it's such a brilliant thing that I don't have to go to work next week. Is that it? Are we done? Nope. Last one. One more. So it's an Easter quiz where Easter wasn't the answer. Okay, yep, that makes sense. Cool quiz. Well done, Scott. 14th place. Wow. Shirley, congratulations. Brian in 2nd place. And it me in 3rd place. Well. That's all I can say. 18 questions correct for Shirley. 17 for Brian. 22 for Stevie P. How did you not win, Stevie P? 18 for Scott as well. Uh, 16 for me. 18 for Rebecca. Warren gave up. Okay, that was terrible. I'm sorry, Scott, that was terrible, but it's not your fault. Um, okay. Are you going anywhere on your holiday or a staycation? He's having an adventure. Oof. Why? We're doing a bit of everything, I think. So we've got. So the main thing is we're going to train our children on public transport, so as I don't have to drive them around Sheffield for the rest of my life. So I'm going to teach them how trams work, how buses work, how trains work, and how they get from and to our house and various places. Then I think we're going to do a few day trips, maybe a day trip over to Manchester. We're probably going to go down to London because Mrs. Adventure's sister lives down there and she's just had a baby, so we're going to go and see the new baby and then do a bit of the touristy thing when you're in London, which I hate because I have to go to London all the time for work, or I used to anyway. So I think I became part Londoner, where I just hated everything touristy about London, because every time I went there I associated it with work, which was like, oh god, I have to do this crap again. Oh, but obviously the kids and the wife and all that, they'll enjoy doing that. Other than that, the main thing I'm doing on my holiday is not working, because I hate it. There's no easier way to say it than that. It's soul destroying. I measure my. You know how you can do all these tests, like take online tests of how well you are and how you're coping with your job, and is your job suited for you, or are you happy in what you're doing and all that. I have two measurements. One is when I inevitably don't win the lottery, how pissed off do I get? And recently I've been getting downright angry when I wake up on a Sunday morning and go, what? I didn't win the lottery again. Oh, I have to go back to bloody work again and do so that's been quite high recently. That's been dangerously high levels of disappointment with not winning the lottery. Doubled up by me doing all the lotteries, so I've started doing the Euro Millions and the midweek lottery, thinking, well, I've got to win this then. And then the Monday dread. Does that ring a bell with anyone else? So on a good day, you don't dread your work at all. You don't mind. Some people, I've heard some people look forward to going to work on a Monday. I've never been that guy. But the Monday dreads are good. Is when you wake up on a Monday and go, Monday, I've got a stack of paperwork to do, or I've got to have some meetings with this person that I don't like, or whatever it is. I'm having my Monday dreads on a Thursday afternoon now. So it's not even the fact that it's happening on a Sunday night. Sunday night's when it's bad, when you're like, still the weekend and I'm already worrying about the Monday. Mine's gone back to like Thursday afternoon, where I'm like, I've got a weekend coming up, but I'm not going to enjoy it because I'm going to have to start a new week next week. So it's terrible. So I'm having a well-earned rest where can you see my eye doing that flickery thing where it's like, that's me just thinking about work. It's like, So I'm having a week off. I'm not necessarily going anywhere. I'm going to have a few day trips. We're going to do a few nice things. It's my wife's birthday today, so we've had a nice day today. It's one of my kids' birthday on Monday, so we'll have a nice day on Monday. Like say a couple of visits to maybe Manchester, maybe London, but this, that and the other. Have a nice relaxing time and not do anything. That's my main thing. I want to make a couple of videos. We've got some home stuff to do. I'm going to destroy a conservatory at some point. Maybe not this week, but that's in the future. That'll get some aggression out. That'll be quite good. Tidy up the fish room. Maybe make a couple of videos. That'd be nice. So what's the subject for next week? Yes, Tim, what is the subject for next week? Tim, no, yeah, Tim, you have to think about it. London public transport. Maybe it's a little bit of shell shock for some people. I'd love London public transport. It's kind of my perfect scenario because you don't have to engage with anyone or talk with anyone. You just go beep, and you're on. The worst thing that can happen is you get on the wrong bus or the wrong tube or the wrong whatever, and you end up somewhere else. Like, oh shit, this is not where I wanted to be. Then you just get back on and go boop. Away you go. The boop for everyone is in the olden days that was you had to talk to a driver and say, "Hello, driver, I'm trying to get to Oxford Circus, please." And then that became an Oyster card where you just had to have an Oyster card. But now it's just your bank card or your phone. You just get on, it boops, same price no matter where you're going. It's great. I'm 52 and I've not used the bus since I was a schoolboy. Everyone we've spoken to so far, we've said, "Oh, you know what you're doing next week? Oh, we're going to teach the kids how to use a bus." They're like, "Do you know how to use a bus?" That's a very good point. It's been a long time since I've been on a bus. In fact, I had quite a traumatic experience on a bus and I haven't used one since, really. When I first moved to Sheffield, there's an area in Sheffield called the Moor, Moor. And I lived in like student housing, so I wasn't a student, I was working, but I rented a room in what was full of other students, where I met my wife. She had one of the other rooms. Irrelevant. So when I had to go on shift, when it was, I think it's when I was doing the night shifts, I didn't drive, or when I was doing the day shifts, I didn't drive because it was a pain to park. So I would get the bus down. And you'd get the bus, and the bus stop was the Moor bus stop. And the Sheffield accent doesn't lend itself to speaking English properly. So when I got on the bus, and I think it must have been night shift because I was cranky as hell. Not that I'm always cranky as hell, but anyway, I got on the bus. And this was in the days when you had to speak to the bus driver and say where you were going, and you would be given a fare. So it was like £1.10 would get you to the Moor. So I'd go and say, "The Moor, please." And he just kind of looked at me like, "You what?" I was like, obviously because I'm from Scotland and he's from Sheffield. "The Moor, please." And he went, "Oh, do you mean the Maw?" And I went, "Nope, I don't mean the Maw, I mean the Moor." He said, "It's called the Maw, mate." I was like, "It's not called the Maw, it's called the Moor. Take me to the Moor." It's the Moor. It's not. So this went on for some time, but me going, "It's called the Moor." He's going, "It's called the Maw." So what noise does a cow make? And he went, "Moo." I was like, "Stick an R on the end. What do you get?" And he went, "You get to walk." And he kicked me off the bus and I had to walk to work. So from that day forward, I have not had a good relationship with bus drivers and have not used the bus. So I don't really know how buses work anymore. So it'll be a learning experience for all of us as we get back into this again. Trains and trams. Sheffield has a tram system. That's great because again, it's pretty much one price wherever you're going, and you get a day ticket. You can get back, forward, in, out, everything all about. It's fine. It's great. But buses are a bit of a not sure I like buses. I don't like public transport as a general rule. So when I used to go to London all the time, the company would always say to me, "Oh, get the train to London, because it's cheaper." And I'm like, "It's a fuck cheap." Is it? I can't think of a way of not swearing while I say that. Is it heck cheaper? Trains in the United Kingdom are ridiculously expensive. It was, I think, often over £100, £180 even for like a return ticket to London from Sheffield. How is that cheaper than me driving? But it's better for the environment. Was it that much better? Anyway, I would often end up getting one of those table seats. When you sit in the train, you get the table seats that have got 4 seats and a table, and you're meant to be able to take your laptop out and do work, and that's why work wanted me to take it, because I could work while I was doing it. But I'd be the skinniest guy on that table every single time, without fail. I'd be the smallest guy on the table. How is that statistically possible? It is not statistically possible for me to be the skinniest guy sat at the table. So I'd be like that, for 2 hours all the way to London with some stinky fat twat next to me giving it. Oh, it was the most awful thing I could ever imagine. Rather than sat in my nice air-conditioned car listening to my music or my radio or my podcast. Traffic jam. No big deal. I'll just wait here for a little while. Not replacement bus service. So, a general dislike and distaste of anything to do with public transport. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm now thinking to myself, why am I teaching my kids how to use public transport when I refuse to use it? But again, they can't drive, so I don't want to have to drive them all the time. Okay. Shirley has just realised she's not been subscribed the whole time she's been watching my videos. What the hell? Exactly. It's fixed now. Thank you very much. I love an extra subscriber or two. Tourists were a nightmare in London, I guess. For the museum, I used to get out the station as I walk as fast as possible. As soon as I see family or schools, I know they're either going to be the National History Museum or the Science Museum. To be fair, that was one of the big draws of London, as the museums there are crazy good and free. Adam C's been to London. There were no trash cans in public. That was difficult as my ex was 3 months 3 months pregnant and threw up all over the city. Lovely. Yes. Well, there used to be trash cans or bins all over the place, but then we had a bit of a... decided to remove them all at some point. I can't remember what it was. Was it like a terrorism thing or something? I can't remember. I felt terrible for the poor guys that worked in the tube, but because she was spewing on everyone. You want to go to Scotland? Well, I highly recommend it. Oh, as Tim said something, heavy metal. Oh, is that like? Do you mean like atomic weight wise or music wise? As it's me saying, yes, platinum and gold or music genres. Music, okay. I'm sure we can allow ourselves to extend that to what is the atomic weight of plutonium. Night shifts, the drive after night shifts is so stressful. I quite like the drive after night shifts because you're usually going in the opposite direction to the rest of the population. So I worked nights for a long time. When I was in Glasgow, I used to work shifts. I worked shifts until... God, it's quite a long time ago now, I suppose. But for a long time, I worked shifts. I think that is why I have the ability to... If I decide to sleep, so I could be here and I go, I think I'll sleep now. I'll be out. I've never suffered with insomnia or sleep problems. If I decide to sleep, I will sleep. And even sometimes when I don't decide to sleep, I will sleep. I can sleep in any position, any amount of noise, any amount of heat, cold... whatever, anywhere I can sleep. And I think it's to do with working shifts. But the drive home after a night shift where everyone else is going in the opposite direction towards all the offices and you're going home to bed, it's one of the sweetest feelings in life. £2 on the bus system anywhere these days, is that like an OAP thing? Because, that's one of the things I want to go for. It's the only reason I want to get old is just so as I can get my bus pass. Anywhere. Yeah, quite right. Brian wants to make a public apology to Susan. Her butt isn't that big. It breaks chairs, but honestly... I had a bus driver refuse me access due to their own app causing an issue. I got so fed up I walked on choice. I would be that too. I sent a very Karen complaint. Buses in London are... I have done buses in London since I had my bus incident in Sheffield, and they're fine. But buses everywhere are just a bit shit. I don't know what other way to say it than buses are just a bit shit. Everyone goes on about, oh yeah, but they're so much cleaner. Have you seen a bus? Have you been behind a bus? All right, they can fit 150 people on them. Have you ever seen a bus full? Very rarely. Bath to Bristol's £11 and a 30-minute drive. Exactly. I knew there'd be one. Sorry, Sandy. I'm sure there are nice bus drivers. Just my experience of them have been your grumpy colleagues rather than yourself. Put a car on a wall. What have you got? A walker. The Alfie bus. That was pretty much what happened. Yeah. But I maintain to this day it was because I bested him that he had to use his ultimate power and just kick me off. Yeah. And I had to walk. I wasn't even grumpy about the walk. I was like, I was right though. There was a whole thing I missed out in that interaction about, we had a discussion about moorhens, where he called them moorhens, and I asked him, well, how do you differentiate between a moorhen and more than one moorhen? Surely that's a moorhen and more moorhens, not more moorhens. And then, I think, shortly afterwards, I was kicked off the bus. And yeah, these days, I had to kick myself off the bus. I used to commute from my master's to London so many times I had to sit on the floor. The amount of times I had to sit. But you pay 180 quid for a return ticket to London from Sheffield. You expect to get a seat. No, not guaranteed. Trains or car insurance, which is cheaper? Well, I'm old now, so car insurance is very much cheaper. I was talking to people because my eldest is turning 17 this year and interested in learning to drive, so I was like talking to folk who have kids about the same age or just a bit older. Because I remember when I was a kid, you had to pick a pretty shitty car because you knew the insurance was going to be quite expensive until you turned about 25. Then it would go down a bit, and that was the case. But nowadays, whoa, I'm hearing about people who are, I mean, we've talked about this on this stream before, but there's like 18-year-olds who have a bog standard Corsa or a Fiesta or something that's not that good, paying thousands of pounds a year insurance. And I know I am old, but I have a bit of a sporty car, I guess. And I'm an idiot. I can drive around like a twat quite happily. And my insurance is what, 350 quid a year or something like that? It just doesn't make sense. Buses near us, says Lanks Fishkeeper, have a voice telling you the name of the next stop, which I understand, but the stops are every 1 minute, so headphones are a must. I've always thought that, so we have the tram in Sheffield, and it's always confused me as to why they announce what the next stop on the tram is. There's one tram. Okay, that's not quite true. I think there's 2 tram routes. But it's not like there's hundreds of different options of where this could be going. And like, welcome to Bamford Street. The next stop is University Square. And you're like, no shit, Sherlock. It's literally on rails. It can't go anywhere else but there. Why do you have to tell me this every single... I am just... Sorry, I'm grumpy now. Oh, it's £2 for everyone. The OAPs are free. Yeah, that's the free bus pass. Can you tell I'm Scottish? The fish definitely don't like the right hand side of the tank. No, it's because I give it all this waving about here. Maybe if I get out of the way a minute, they'll become in focus and maybe come over to the side. Nah, they're not for moving. I paid £2 recently. I had to catch one after dropping the car off for some works. Also, only £1 after a certain time. I found out after my Christmas night out. Well, what else have they got going for them, buses, other than being cheaper? If you were a character from Still Game, would you be Jack or Victor or others? Yeah, I do. I am quite partial to a bit of Still Game. I've watched that a few times now. For those of you that don't know, it's about some elderly community in Glasgow and them going about their daily lives. None of them resonate with me particularly. I think I've got a little bit of all of them. That's probably what everyone would say, though, isn't it? I've seen old people who definitely can't see the lines on the road. Oh, there are definitely some people that shouldn't have a car. Like my mother-in-law. She bought a new car not that long ago. And within about a fortnight, we saw it and it had just dings everywhere. She clearly just like, just hope none of those bumps were people. The announcements make me laugh because ours has a Bristol accent. Yeah, they do usually use the local accents, don't they? As so many people want to visit Scotland, would you advise them to walk up to someone in Glasgow and say, you're getting the Malky? I would definitely not advise them to do that. I was watching something today that was talking about Glaswegian words and Glaswegian phrases that people didn't know about, and I couldn't believe that no one had heard them. Now I can't remember any of them. Will I be able to find it in time when we're talking about it? I'd be the barman. Oh no, I definitely wouldn't be the barman. Has anyone watched Still Game? Because I have things to say about it. That last episode of Still Game, gets me every time. Because it's Bobby the barman. Ooh. And he's meant to be a bit younger than all the old folk that come in. And the last episode's basically everyone dies. And then it jumps on like 10 years and Bobby's the old man, but he's still working at the Klansman in the pub. Still Game, is it old? No, it's not. I mean, it's finished now, but it's this century. It's newer than Die Hard. I'm not a Bobby. 2 pints, prick. My grandma, before she had a stroke, was driving everywhere with upside down vision. She told everyone as well. I know, that's the thing where you're like, what is going on? She would come in after visiting us and go, Graham, could you just come out and have a look at this car? I can't get it to lock. He's like, what do you mean you can't get it to lock? It's just doors won't lock. And then you go out there and it'll still be running. Yeah, imagine. I might see it, but I've got to watch the 3 Body Problem first. Yeah, a few people have mentioned the 3 Body Problem. It's on Netflix right now. It's meant to be quite good. I haven't started it yet. I've only seen clips when people were referring to it. What channel was it on? I think it's a BBC thing, was it? It was BBC Scotland, but like kind of sold out to all the other channels. It's on Netflix and things like that. You can get it on Netflix. I think that's where I watched it. It just reminded me of home, made me feel homesick. I guess that's what it is. I haven't had a TV in years though. Yeah, I'm about to say I've got a TV, but it must be some age. Robbie Coltrane was the bus driver. Oh, he wasn't he, in one of them? Well, there's like 9 series of it. When did it start? So 62 episodes. It's got an 8.9 out of 10. It finished in 2019. So series 1 was 2002 and it went through to 2019 on BBC 1, BBC 2, BBC 1, BBC 2, BBC 1 Scotland, BBC 2. The thing was, I knew everyone I knew, all the characters in it. I could pick a trait from everyone I knew. So you had the guy who was Tam, who's like the biggest tightwad you'd ever known. There's people in Yorkshire I know that are a bit like that. Never mind people in Scotland that are like that. The Isa was like the town gossip that nothing happened that she didn't know about. So many people I knew who were like that. The shopkeeper who was like, he was brilliant. Naveed, I think he was called, and he ran the corner shop. Naveed's, who would be like, yeah, he's 1 minute so Scottish, the next minute so Indian. Oh, it was brilliant. It made me think of everyone that I'd ever met who did that. Yeah, Jack and Victor, obviously. Winston with his one leg. That's great. If you ever want to get into it, it's definitely worth it. Chewing the Fat was before that, and even before that, because Chewing the Fat came out of what do you call it? There was a bit of a, in Scotland anyway, your traditions, what you would watch at New Year, basically. Chewing the Fat seemed to take over from, I've immediately forgotten the name of it. That's going to bug me now. Because they did things where they did like sketches and stuff before they became a whole thing about Chewing the Fat, and then Chewing the Fat became a thing that spawned who knows? Die Hard with a Vengeance is starting soon on ITV. You can't watch it in that order though, Rebecca. You'll get it all wrong. You need to just watch Die Hard #1. What was the one called before Chewing the Fat that had, what's his name? He had the policeman with the police hat helmet that he would always, and it would fly off his head. Come on, Scottish people, help me out. We can do this. I think it starts with an R. Only an Excuse. That was before Chewing the Fat, I suppose. Scotch and Rye, that's what I was thinking of. Yes. Ricky Fulton. Scotch and Rye. So that was the... Yes, as Brian says, the Reverend I Am Jolly. So that was like required watching on New Year's Eve, or Hogmanay as we called it. That you would watch that, and then that became... Only an Excuse became Chewing the Fat, became Still Game. And it went from... I remember watching this when I was a little tiny kid and thinking it was hilarious, to watching it when I was, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 and thinking it was hilarious for different reasons. It was one of those things. You remember Rapsy? I think Rapsy Nesbitt, was spawned out of one of those sketch shows. It was all that same stuff. Rapsy Nesbitt, his wife, Rapsy Nesbitt, for those of you who don't know, is a character. He's not a real person, but he's basically a bum. I think it's what the American parlance for that is. His wife, Elaine C. Smith. Oh god, this is a tenuous link. His wife in that show was an actress called Elaine C. Smith, and her husband was a modern studies teacher at my school. So Gregor Fisher, I want to say, Rapsy Nesbitt, that's because he was also the Hamlet guy. Do you remember the Hamlet adverts with the guy with the comb over and smoking a cigar? Remember when you had smoking cigar on TV on adverts? Came to our school to say hello. Gregor Nesbitt. Oh, is that his name? No, Rapsy Nesbitt. Gregor Fisher. Gregor Fisher, I think it was. So that was my childhood that I remember. Right, if I haven't mentioned it already, there's probably no one watching now because I've been talking about bloody Scottish obscure TV shows from the early 2000s for the last 20 minutes. But if anyone's still here, next week I'm hoping to film a whole bunch of videos. If you've got any ideas and you want to see something, like earlier we had some suggestions of get on Etsy. Yeah, love to hear about that kind of stuff. Stick it in Discord. Let me know what you think, because I'm going to use my time to clean up my fish room, get a couple of projects I wanted to get done. I want to add some more plants to this tank. I've got my new plants coming in. Hopefully they won't all be dead, and that won't be the biggest waste of money ever. Yeah, that's going to be what we've got planned. So give me a like. You don't need to pay. There's no joining fee or anything like that. You just have to give us a like or a dislike if you don't like this kind of thing. Tell me it's rubbish. Otherwise, go and watch one of my videos. After this stream, we've probably got Cold Water Aquatics, unless, of course, the time has gone wrong, because sometimes I don't understand how daylight savings works. Clocks skip this weekend, don't they? Let me just see if anyone is still actually streaming. Oh yeah, we've already crashed into Cold Water Aquatics. So if you were going to watch that, you've probably already gone, because I've been talking nonsense for about 10 minutes. If you want to go after this stream, just say hello to him. Let me know how things are going. Say, I've come over from Graham's stream. He said to check you out. If you don't like this stream, hit the thumb twice. Quite right. Time's still not right until next week. Yeah, so Cold Water Aquatics is streaming now. Tomorrow, come and join us on Aquarium Daily. I might not be there, but I shall try. He does a somewhat mediocre quiz. It's not as refined as my quiz. If he's still here, he will be mentioning that. Maybe we should go in together and buy one license between us, Andrew. It's ridiculously expensive. I'll use it on a Friday, you use it on a Saturday. What do you think? And then we can do the good quiz. Because I actually quite like Andrew's quiz. I like the wagering element. But yeah, that's all I've got for you tonight, I'm afraid. It's one of those days where... Oh, he's still here. He's still here. Unless you've got any questions for me, I'm going to sign off a bit early because I'm a bit tired. I'm on the cusp of staying for an extra hour or finishing 5 minutes early. I don't know where I'm going to land on that one. So let me know what you think. Otherwise, what other plans have we got for you? Like I say, we've got a trip to London, a trip to Manchester. Can I get some kind of aquatic content out of that, do you think? I wonder. So Manchester's got a sea life centre. London's got a sea life centre. See if I could blag like a behind the scenes or something. Me and Andrew are definitely damned together. I don't know about that. It was nice meeting you too, Shirley. Thank you very much for stopping by. We do this every week. Sometimes I even have some content prepared rather than just randomly talking nonsense for an hour and a half. To make up for the bad quiz choice, I'm making my own quiz, says Scott. Topic in question, Aquarium Adventures. Oh, that'd be embarrassing if I don't win that one, given that I am me. London, the National History Museum has a jar room, an invert room. So do you think if we went down there, would I be able to say, I know someone who put that thing in that jar? Have you got any on display of things you have personally jarred? I don't know. Oh, £10 person for a tour for the hidden jaw stores. Wow. I must admit, I do like the museums in London. They're very good. Oh, fish tank. Fish tank question? That's not what it says at all. Fish question, how many tanks did line breed guppies? So, I've heard it can be done with 9 as the minimum. I've heard some people talk about 5, but I like the thinking behind the 9 one more than anything else, because it lets you split off. It lets you have a level of failure tolerance, that if you lose one, that's fine, you've got another one to get there. But yeah. The reason is you have to get from, if you're talking about, I know they're not wild, but if let's say we called them the male and the female that had the baby, that would be F1, F2, F3. You want to go 1, 2, 4, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and then one more each for those ones to set the 8 and the 9 tank. This makes no sense, does it? It's only in my head this makes sense. Basically, you have parents, fry, and you're separating off all the time to keep that line right, and then you have one more tank to set, and that last one's the one that sets it, as I understand it. So while you can do it with 5, you can't. That probably doesn't make any sense. It makes sense in my head. If you ask me that one at 9 o'clock rather than at 11 o'clock, I might be able to answer that one. Are you planning on doing the long DIY tank or still undecided? Yeah. Undecided. I'm planning on doing it. I don't know when. I'm going to have to open another beer for this one. So, the thing is, I think I've talked about this before, but basically, I'm trying to run Aquarium Adventures like a business now. It's not like a normal business where I have profit and loss and all that kind of stuff, but I'm trying to run it as if I have a profit and loss. So my P&L at the moment doesn't look very good. I'm spending, so I'm buying laser printers to do labels. I'm buying postage subscriptions. I'm buying lots of cardboard boxes for mailing out stuff. I'm buying lots of supplies that are really boring, admin-y, businessy stuff. I spent 400 or 500 quid worth on plants recently. I've spent 400 or 500 quid on food, which again I'm selling but very slowly, so I'm recouping all the investments that I make very, very slowly, because I'm not selling hundreds and hundreds of pounds a day worth of stuff. It's, oh yeah, I got an order for 15 quid one day, 20 quid another day, which is nice and it's great. So I've gone through a period of investing in everything, so the balance on is it's not healthy, let's put it that way. I'm not on the breadline. This is not how I live. This isn't paying the mortgage or anything like that. This is very much a side hustle. I've tried to legitimise the side hustle as much as possible, but it's very much a side hustle. The mortgage is covered, so don't worry about me, guys. You don't have to go out and give me a pity order or anything like that. It's all fine. But I'm trying to use any projects that I want to do in the fish room. I'm trying to use the fish room to fund them. So while I've been going through a period of buying lots of supplies and lots of stuff like that, there isn't a lot of money left over to do a DIY tank. So that Temu tank that I did the other week, That was £100. I was hoping that video would pay for itself fairly quickly, and it has. It has. I can't lie. It has paid for itself, but no more. So it broke even, which is fine because I got a good amount of views on it, good amount of subscribers from it. It was a fine video, and I've got a little tiny tank. That's all. That's okay. It's just that it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 months before I've built up enough of a buffer to say, right, okay, I've got another £500 to spend on that. So if I build my DIY tank back there, there's probably 200 or 300 quid's worth of timber and wood, stuff like that. A couple £100 worth of sundries, like, I don't know, liquid rubber or whatever it might be that I buy, and substrate and all those things. They're fine, and if I was a hobbyist, I would be planning that as my tank, but I don't need a tank like that over there. I want a tank like that over there, but I'm trying to be sensible about it and not dig into my normal money, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to only use money that I generate from the channel or from the fish room to pay for projects in the channel or in the fish room. That's a very long-winded way of saying that, I think, but I hope I kind of get across there that I'm trying not to touch the family money. So any money that we've got that I earn from my proper job that pays for the mortgage, pays for the food on the table, pays for the electric, all that kind of stuff, that's separate. And then in a separate bucket I have money that I earn from YouTube, from a website, from whatever sponsorship deals I can put together, all that kind of stuff. They pay towards some electricity, so I put a little bit aside every month for cost of running this, so cost of electricity, all that kind of stuff, and then the rest goes back into an investment into Aquarium Adventures, whatever it might be. So for the last couple of months it's been laser printers, it's been stock mailing bags, all those kind of weird like things that you don't think about that cost money, but actually cost a lot of money. So hopefully when that starts to catch up again, that'll be the time when I think about it and go back into, right, I'm going to get that big tank going again. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, I won't see your jars, says Rebecca. Darwin ones are usually on display, then they take you to the large jar room with the giant squid. I kind of just want to see one of those jars so I can take a picture of it. My ideal would for you to comment on that picture and say his tank looks too small, because I think I spent about a year commenting on Rebecca's pictures that her tank looks too small every time she posted one of those pictures on Facebook. His juggler's mate has some real nice guppies and stuff. Also, this is for the line breeding. So I wouldn't bother with line breeding if I was you. I would stick to, if you can buy males and females of an already established line, you don't need to worry about how many that you need. It's when you're trying to make a new line that you need lots of tanks. Just keep making them. And if you can't, if you're just buying really nice guppies, the mutt guppy, in my opinion, is way better than trying to line breed. Why would you? Because you get some brilliant morphs and just freaks that come out and you go, wow, where did that come from? That's amazing. You get lots of shit ones as well, so there is that. But a mutt guppy tank is very much underrated. You're good at winging it. Well, I'm good at winging it as long as you guys are feeding me stuff to wing, I guess. Nine. Okay, that's out. Planning 3 breeders in a 4-foot dump tank. Yeah, so in each, if you think about it like a pyramid scheme, in each of those pyramids you have a tank where you're clearing out things to the side that you don't want, and then the other 2 are the ones that you do want, and it doubles every line. Mutt guppies are the best, you're quite right. The food you gave Arnold looked quality. Hopefully it helps the hustle. Yeah, I stand by my food. It is good food. My favourite food is so salesman mode. Hang on. The best food in the aquarium business is my super soft Artima. You can buy that from aquariumadventures.co.uk. But it literally is the best food. I feed it to everything because I've got lots of it. But I've exclusively fed my discus. Oh look, they're over this side now. I've exclusively fed my discus on it for years. It has great growth rates. I've had discus breeders start using it. Yeah, it's brilliant. Super soft Artima. I import it from the German manufacturers. I'm one of 2 people in the UK that gets this stuff in, and I'm the cheapest. So if you want it, go and get it. I spent nearly 300 quid on it just last week to get it imported back again because it's really expensive. So now is the time before I realise how much I'm not making money on this and put the prices up. If you want to buy some, now is the time. There's the link. You could always look at it as an investment into future profit. I'm very much looking at it as an investment. So I'm trying to take as little as possible out of Aquarium Ventures at the moment. So if this was a proper business, I'd be going, where's my wage? I'm not paying myself away. Everything that I'm making, I'm putting back into it. I've been trialing advertising. I've been trialing buying more stock, just refining everything, trying to make everything a little bit better as an investment, just to see and it's working. I've more than doubled my subscriber count since the beginning of the year. It's looking great. So I can't be happy. I can't complain. It's always good. Where does the beer money come from? Mega Drank. This is a tax write-off. Because I'm a proper business now, beer is an integral part of my Friday night live stream, so I get to claim the VAT on the beer. I think that's how it works anyway. Be a shame if you don't turn up on here Fishy tomorrow, Graham, as it will be a 500 sub giveaway. I'll try my best. We were kind of rained off. It was my wife's birthday today, and we were kind of rained off and doing something, so we might have to do it tomorrow instead if it's a bit better. So I don't know if we'll be back in time. Line breeding's more, I think, for if you enjoy the biology and selective. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it is more of a scientific approach to line breeding. Is about setting a line and picking the traits, and I can't do it. I'm just not that way inclined, because you just have to go, nope, don't want that one, nope, don't want that one, and never think about it again. But I'm like, oh, but it's still cool. Oh no, where's it going? Oh. So it's yeah, you're literally chucking everything out. I've been forgetting to ask what food of yours for Corridorus. So again, the super soft Artemia. That's a very good one. Showing out of stock on the website. What? This is why nobody buys it, because I'm shit it. I've got loads of it. I've literally kilos and kilos of the stuff. For my Corridorus, super soft Artemia is a great food for them, but it's quite expensive for them. So I would go with that, because I do feed that. But I also think they do quite well on the algae wafers and the micro pellets. They also enjoy the spirulina tablets. So I sell a bunch of sticky tablets. So they're called the sticky topical, sticky spirulina, and sticky colour, which you can stick on the glass, and I use them mostly to take pictures of the fish and stuff. But you can also just drop them in as pellets. They love them. They all do really good. Right, products. Let's fix this, because we are not short of super soft Artemia. It's literally my favourite food. And I have people from... Why are you not working? There we go. From all over come and ask me about how to get it. And I don't know how I've got so lucky as to be the only person that can import this stuff. I think it was because at the time you had to have a pet shop license, and I remember there was like 3 criteria you had to be able to import this stuff from Germany. And it happened to be just before lockdown, so it's when I had a pet shop license, even though I wasn't really a pet shop. I had the business license, and I had the other thing. There were things you just wouldn't get together. And I remember getting them all and going, oh, well, okay, then I'll have it. And I was getting it mostly just to feed my fish, but I just could not get it fast enough because everyone was like, oh, I love that stuff, I want it. Okay, we're showing as 250 grams in stock, so we'll need to put that up to 10. So I've got at least that. No, 100 grams. Okay, put that up as well. But yeah, this was a time when I was trying to get set up selling fish and shrimp and things like that, and I was talking about importing this, that, and the other. And then it just became too much of a faff because it was almost on a weekly basis. The rules were changing in what fish you could send or what shrimp you could send with what courier or with Royal Mail and all that kind of stuff. And just dealing with people who weren't buying off me. The people who were buying off me were like, oh yeah, great, it came, it was brilliant, it was fine. Everyone else like, oh, this person's terrible, he's not using an approved courier to send his shrimp, he's only using Royal Mail. And as we know from my earlier rant today, the approved couriers are not all they're not good. But anyway, I digress. So I decided that was just a bit faffy. So that's why I stuck to just the foods and the merch and stuff like that, because the foods were great and it was all stuff that I was using. What I should really be looking into is the stuff that I'm not. So I've said this a few times, I don't think it's any secret here. It's all the brands that I have used in the past where I've said to the brand, can I have like a trade account and sell this? And they've said to me, oh, we do a white label product as well. So a white label product just means I buy the product and get to put my label on it and sell it as if it's my own food. So they're all my white label products that I'm selling you. That's what you get on aquariumadventures.co.uk. And I'm not allowed to tell you exactly what it is, as in what brands it is that it's replacing, but it's cheaper. Let's just put it that way, it's cheaper. If you were to compare the ingredient lists, you would probably be able to work it out, I think. But the things where I use like the Hikari Cichlid Gold and the Hikari Massivore and stuff like that, they obviously didn't have white label versions or didn't want to let me sell them like that. But I should really reach out to them on trade and get them trade prices now that I'm a proper business with a proper business bank account and proper business accounts and all that kind of stuff. What's happened to my fish avatar? I don't know. I think it's because I'm using a different system this week because it didn't work for some reason. Every now and again it doesn't work, so I have to go back to the old system and it doesn't like your avatar. Out of stock, so that you should now be in stock. Yes, it was when I was selling shrimp and guppies and things like that. Best money maker for an auction. I should, yes, you're right, I should do that with the plants as well. Must do that. You're quite right. Yeah, because I don't know if the auctions that you go to are the same, but there's the auctions I go to. Every now and again they'll say, right, we've got 100 gram bags of flake food, start at £4, and they'll have hundreds of them. Everyone's like, yeah, I'll have them. And I'm like, what? £4 for 100 grams of flake? What? In what universe? And it's not even like good flake. It's like, no, don't talk down on people. I rate my flake. I think my bug flake is one of the best flakes going. I like my krill flake. I like my krill flake not because of the content of krill. I think it's a good colour flake, and I should probably be more open about that. It's called krill flake because it has krill in it, but what it really is a colour flake because it has lots of colour enhancers in it. So it's really good for that. I have ordered a goldfish ultra flake. It's meant to be like an ultra growth flake for goldfish and koi. So I'm going to try feeding that to my pond over the summer to see if that's any good. So I might be offering that soon as well as a product. And I'm trying a few monster fish things because one packet of Hikari Massivore, you've seen the packets that I send from, it's 30 quid for a packet like that. That's not sustainable. That's why it's cheaper for me to buy, it's cheaper for me to go to the fish market and buy like kilos and kilos of fresh fish and fresh seafood mix and all that kind of stuff and freeze it. And I usually treat that kind of stuff as a treat rather than a staple, and then have the pellets as the staple and then the fish food as the fish as the treat. I'm kind of working the other way now because it's cheaper for me to feed the fresh fish than it is the pellets. That's not quite right. Why do most on eBay use Royal Mail? Because they're not... eBay is a bit like the Wild West, isn't it? You can do what you want on eBay, you can sell what you want, and send it any way you want as well. When you're a shop and you send by Royal Mail and one person leaves a review to say, it's not a registered fish courier, that just looks bad. There are quite a few white label brands that people wouldn't know are... Yeah, there are. Yeah, you're quite right. There are some that I sell that I see other people selling, and they're... Maybe we could talk about this on like an Aquarium Adventures behind the scenes. Yeah, because there's a few people that have mentioned them as trusted brands where I'm like, that's exactly the same thing that's in mine because we have the same supplier. I'm in trouble now because Susan asked me to fetch a glass and I brought her a shot glass. Some flake foods are rice paper and you can eat them and not know they're fish food. Yeah, some are. Thinking about coming down 28th of April for the SFAS auction? Yes. Maybe I would like to go to that too, and maybe I'll try and sell some of my fish food and stuff and plants and get some of my money back and pay for that tank. That's how we started this conversation, wasn't it? Aquarium Analytics says 10 in stock. Yes, I've just updated, so hopefully that is now... I'll click on the website just to make sure. Hopefully that's now back up and working. If you are interested in buying anything off the website, I mean, thanks very much and all that. I'm not, like I say, it's a side hustle. I'm not here to mercilessly shill and get you to buy everything that you can, but it's appreciated when you do. Plants will be updated probably Tuesday, when hopefully Tuesday. I'm going to say hopefully Tuesday, because if I don't, it's because they've all melted and died. Yep, we've got 10 of each in stock. That'll do for now. So come Tuesday, the new plant shipment should be in, and if they are all still alive, they will get listed on the website as well. If you want to try making your own gel fluid, I can help out with ingredients. Okay. I said that about the new Higer filter. It's just the AQQA filter. There's lots of things. I mean, I don't think it's any secret. Aquarium Adventures, Aquarium Co-op has lots of white label products. So anything, if you go and look on AliExpress or any of these type of websites for any of the Chinese factories that are producing these things, they all have options for you to, they don't always call it white label, but they all have options for you to brand the thing yourself. So you get to design the packaging, you get to make your own box, you get to make your own vinyl stickers for the thing, whatever it might be, whether it's a light, a filter, or whatever, all that kind of stuff. And that's fine, because a lot of those things are so simple it's not true. It's like a sponge filter. A sponge filter is a sponge filter. There's nothing that can go wrong with a sponge filter. There's nothing can really be improved with a sponge filter. You can't. It is what it is. So yeah, stick my face on it or Corey's face on it, and then sell it again. The thing I like that he has done is trying to refine some of these products where they don't make sense. And you see lots of these things, like Higer is a good example, where people will make these videos about, Higer have sent me this, I don't know, under gravel filter or sponge filter or siphon system, and you're like, yeah, this works really well, that works really well. I don't really get what this bit's for. Why have they done this? And that's where someone like Aquarium Co-op has the reach to say, stop doing that, don't do that, or change that to this, and then I'll buy 10,000 of them. Because when you're buying 100 of them, the manufacturers are like, no, this is what it is. The options are we stick your name on it or we don't, not that we change it. Whereas he's got enough pull to get them to actually change it. So there's kind of a white label and a white label plus, I guess, is what I'm saying there. But some of the Higer stuff is a bit like that, where you think this is just the same as any other, and it's got your name on it. Some of it isn't, some of it is. Hopefully get my LDA 25s on Tuesday. I've been roped in to help do the shop unboxing, so fingers crossed they made it into the shipment. Oh, very good. Filters as well. Jeremy Gay says it's so expensive to create new equipment that generally you buy a white label product with small other designs. Yeah, so you can see this for yourself. You can go on Alibaba, AliExpress, any of those sites, match up with a manufacturer, and they will literally list it out saying, if you buy 100 of these, you're allowed to change 10% of the box. If you buy 1,000 of them, we will print a new box with your packaging and labelling and whatever you want. If you buy 10,000, you can choose the colour of the plastic that's on the product. If you buy 20, and it's literally listed out like that as what you will get and what you can change. And it's the Aquarium Co-op way is to get to, so they've obviously got the 10,000 to say, right, well, I want a sponge filter, but I want the plastic top and bottom to be green, and I want the sponge to be this type of sponge. I want it to be more dense or less dense. So they have to buy 100,000 or whatever it might be to do that. But you could do that. Anyone can do that. They've just got the pull that they can sell that amount. So £20 for most places or 69p off Temu. It's the same. It's not, and I'm not picking on Aquarium Co-op by saying this, because the only reason I mention them is they have both the buying power and the selling power. They are seen as a trusted brand, so when they sell a light or a filter or a whatever, they have hundreds of thousands of people that are going, yeah, I'll buy that, and why not? And they're not wrong. They're not bad filters. They're not bad lights. They're not bad things, and the tweaks that they get to make to them are probably better than what they started with. So it does make sense. It's a good thing. But it's the same as any business, where, like today, for instance, I went to a plant wholesaler where so I bought 40 lavender plants and 20 peonies and 10 this, that and the other. If I was buying 400 or 200, I could be saying to them, I'll have them delivered and I'll have them in pink pots rather than white pots, and I want them in. So it's more, the more you buy, the more you get to say about what you're buying. A good example, for instance, is All Pond Solutions. So they used to win awards for their APS filters, the All Pond Solution filters. And anyone who's been around at any amount of time know that they're just Sun filters. Sun is another white label brand where you get to pick whatever it is you want to pick. So they obviously bought enough that they were allowed to change the artwork on the box to make them All Pond Solutions filters rather than Sun filters, but they were exactly the same. Aquarium Co-op sells, and that's it. If you can sell it, then that's the main thing. Similarity. Oh God! Sometimes I'm so happy when you say things that I've already said. The similarity between All Pond Solutions filters and other filters. Yeah, the Sun range. And the Beta range, I think it is. The Sun is the filters. Beta is like the tanks and some of the other ancillaries. I'm a very good salesman. I've just ordered a trio. Excellent. Thank you very much. That wasn't what I was going for. I was just trying to talk nonsense. And I've talked for an extra 27 minutes. I've gone way over here. Right, okay. My bestie hasn't invited me. I'm starting to think my bestie doesn't like me. Is that Juggler? I think Brian's after a lift, Juggler. MA's external filters are the same as Tetra's. I assume they went to Tetra for them, though. I'm not sure about them, but I would not be surprised. And again, that's because MA will have some buying power to say, I'll buy 50,000 of these. Not I'll buy. I would go to them and say, I'll buy 5 of them. I can sell 5 of them. Alright. Well, they're selling with our brand on them then. NT Labs is the same as Made in the Head. NT Labs is white label. Yeah, because the people who make the actual thing sell it to people who can sell it. That's all they care about. The last I seen Aquarium Co-op was like £40 for a sponge filter that came from an Aussie. My mate used to work for Heinz, and apparently the only difference between their baked beans and Sainsbury's brand is every 100 cans is QC'd when making Heinz, and it's every 1,000 cans for others. Well, I worked with someone who worked in a food factory before who said something very similar to that, where it wasn't tuna, but let's use tuna as the example. They made 100,000 cans a day of tuna. The cans were all exactly the same thing with exactly the same thing in them, but 20% went off to one side to be called, I don't know, John Smith's skipjack tuna. 20% went off to be Aldi Little Value tuna. 20%, and they all went off. It was the same thing that just went off to different places, and that was one of the things they said was the amount of QC that went into them. So if you did the quality control before you labelled them, it lost all value at the end, whereas if you did it the other way around, and it just seems like a scam. I know Maidenhead Aquatics is similar to another brand, but I forget. The ones that I've seen in Maidenheads have been similar to lots of things, so I think they've been quite clever, where they seem to have some stuff that looks a bit Tetra-ish, some stuff that looks a bit super fishy, some stuff that looks a bit even Flu Valley and Owase, like they've got a little bit of everything, so you can't just pin them down and say they're just reselling X, because they're reselling a bit of everything. And I think that's fine as long as you change something. If you're not just reboxing something, says the man who's reboxing a lot of food. But if you're as big as Maidenhead, I think you should be adding something to it as well. Like, there was, what was it? Who was it that was doing the? It was a filter that was really good, and the only complaint about it was that they didn't have or that everyone that made a video about it or everyone that used it always put on a pre-filter sponge on the intake that didn't come with the thing, and the only thing that they changed when they sold it for themselves was they included that, and everyone was given 11 stars out of 10 for doing this thing, but it was like a $60 uplift for a $5 sponge that was being included in it, and God, they were just getting away with it, hand over fist, raking in the money. So if you can, why wouldn't you? I suppose. I used a MA filter for years, and I still have it as a backup, and it's never failed once in a simple setup. I've got an FX5 somewhere under Megatank probably that I've had since FX5s came out, and it's always been a backup. It's never failed. It's always worked. I like having that good. This is the filter that will last forever. It will always back me up whenever I do something wrong. Plushy Aquatics 3 says, "Hi, Graham Ham." Hi, Plushy Aquatics 3. Ishan Aquatics with the fish questions at 23:32. How do I grow my female betta fast after 6 months? I'm trying to breed her with my male, but my male is too big. I would go with lots of live and frozen foods. So diet is going to be the main thing. That's how you grow a fish. Lots of live Daphnia, live brine shrimp, all those kind of things. They are the things that stimulate eating. Get that. Frozen's second best. Dried food is usually best nutritionally for the amount per pellet or per powder or per whatever. Feeding. Up your feeding, up your water changes, you're bound to get on. Have you seen the MD's latest? Do you think he's been banned from Maidenhead? I've not seen his latest, no. Why would he have been banned from Maidenhead? What, has he done something wrong? Is it because he nicked Matt and then Matt went out on his own, maybe? I don't know. If an MD walked into a store I worked at, I still wouldn't recognise him. How can you not recognise him? He's a bit like me. More hair down here than up here. But not as chunky. Oh dear, I have the same problem with my wife. Ouch. That was the wrong button. I meant to press this button. Don't they say plenty of water changes help fish grow, or is that just something you heard? It definitely does help a fish grow. Usually, the plenty of water change thing is because you can power feed. So when you power feed, a lot of the food goes to waste. So it's either get consumed by the fish and the fish poops it out, or it doesn't get consumed by the fish and it goes to waste. That waste has to get cleared out. So the way you do that is with water changes. Simple, really. A lot of fish keepers are lacking in the hair department. I've never noticed. Right, we're reaching that time where I need a pee more than anything else. I'd love to go on for hours and hours extra. But we can't do that. So, I'll thank you all for joining me. I'll say all the things that I usually say. Buy my stuff. Watch my stuff. Thank you for joining me. If nothing else, it's been a pleasure spending these couple of hours with you. Same time next week. What do you think?